Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air. Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty St. Patrick's Day. Good morning to all of you as we're coming to you live from the Valspar Championship for the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. It is a gorgeous day. Not a cloud in the sky as I sit poolside here at the lovely Innisbrook Resort. The Valspar Championship is underway. 9 of the top 18 players in the world are here. It is a tremendous field. It is the biggest build-out in the history of Valspar Championship. They are expecting Tiger-esque like numbers from 2018. Ticket sales have been off the chain. They've got 22 new corporate sponsors this year. It is going to be a social event and a sporting event beyond compare as far as PGA Tour golf goes here in the Tampa Bay area. Welcome to the show today, this morning. I've got a little bit of my green on. Those of you who are watching via Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and our YouTube can see that. And I can see my gloomy co-host back in our Tampa studios, Nick Gaddis from Outkick.com, is wearing no green. He's wearing his black Tampa Bay gear, it appears to me, because he is in mourning over the perceived loss of Freddie Freeman, who was never a Ray to begin with. My friend, how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm not good today. I forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day, and I'm Irish. I forgot, but I'm just not feeling lucky. I'm not feeling lucky. If I was feeling lucky, then I would have woken up this morning to news that Freddie Freeman was a Ray. I did not. He's a Dodger, wearing Dodger blue, not Ray blue. It's very disappointing time for me today. Very disappointing.
So you and the rest of the Rays fans, the overzealous fans, can now take that large shark hook out of your mouth and understand you've been played again by Stu Sternberg and the Rays. Make you think like they're going to spend big money, but they're not going to spend big money. You could say, oh, they were outbid, blah, 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 blah. They were never in it to begin with. They were always going to get outbid. That's the way it goes. They're the Rays. They're not going to make the commitment. Simple as that. Not until they have a new owner. Simple as that. A new stadium and a new owner. We can be like the rest of the big market teams because we are a big market. But until that changes, you're going to be the Rays. Hey, with great success, great regular season success, but getting over the hump to a World Series is always going to be a challenge for the Rays because they're not going to go that extra mile to do what they have to do. And I think that's pretty apparent right now.
It's Freddie Freeman's loss because he's going to have to pay all those taxes on that contract. So the Rays were offering less, and it really is more or equal. So it's Freddie Freeman's loss. You know, I don't hope for injuries, but I hope for decline for Freddie Freeman now.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that this contract would have been an albatross and maybe an albatross on the Dodgers towards the end of it, but they don't really care. They have enough money to sustain that, and that's why they can do more than the Rays can, to be quite frank. But the fact of the matter is, and we talked about this yesterday, I've talked to many major leaguers, and I say, you know, how is the Rays organization perceived in terms of free agents wanting to come play here? And the overwhelming attitude always is, Tampa Bay is great as a market, but, the ownership is cheap. They don't do what is necessary to win the big prize. They don't feel like they can be, like Ken Rosenthal wrote yesterday, will they have the resources to go out at the deadline and go get a frontline pitcher? No, they don't. They don't, and they won't. And these are the things that make the difference in winning. Will they pick up a $15 million option on Charlie Morton? No, they won't. This is the way they operate. And Eric Neander could sit at the podium and say, we're trying to figure out what it is, the secret sauce that's going to get us over the top. Well, that's a secret sauce. You got to spend more money. Simple as that. And they can, but they refuse to do so. So, because their owner wants to pocket most of the profits. That's the truth. Nobody wants to talk about it anymore, but that's the truth. And unfortunately, this is the way it's going to go for Rays fans. But there is certainly a light at the end of the tunnel, and that is Wander Franco and Randy Arozarena. They've got a great ball club. This is a team that won 100 games last year. I think their pitching staff is going to be better and more experienced. They've added Corey Kluber, which was a nice piece. So look, there's a lot of optimism. Some of these young pitchers can take the next step. Then you got a contending team. They're going to play like the Rays. They're going to play with the edge that they always play with. So you can be gloomy today and say we don't have Freddie Freeman, but hopefully they can make another move, maybe find somebody that's out there, make a trade. They've got gazillions of prospects that they can trade. They got a lot of good young talent. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet. This is just the next step. And Eric Neander, minus the missteps of last year, which we must acknowledge. The signing of these older pitchers, the Rich Hills, the Chris Archers, and the jettisoning of Charlie Morton and Blake Snell, that was a huge misstep. It was a huge misstep. It cost them possibly a World Series. So they regroup and come back this year and see if they can start developing some new young talent.
Yeah, and they did make a signing, by the way, this morning. They made a signing, but I'm sorry. I'm just not here for it today. I'm not here for this signing. And it's a guy who's had 78 innings of relieving in the big leagues with a 4.71 ERA. And
Woo!
I'm sure once I look into him, he's going to have some amazing great metrics and analytics to jump into. But on this morning, after what our competitors have done, I'm not feeling it. I'm not excited, in all respect to Jason Adam. Okay. In all respect to him.
Jason Adam is not Freddie Freeman, is what you're saying.
He's not Freddie Freeman. He's not Matt Chapman. He's not even Yusei Kikuchi, who I really wanted. He's none of that.
I just love that we're going to get to say Yusei Kikuchi all the time now. Because
I know. If he was Ray, we could have said it every fifth day.
My goodness. And then worked it in during the week. It was so much fun we could have had. But we get no Kikuchi. We get no Freddie Freeman.
We got no Suzuki.
Hey, the Rays are in on Matt Chapman. Rays are in on Olsen. The Rays are in on Freddie Freeman.
Second place. Second place Rays. And
again, call me a little cynical when it comes to the Rays. Until I really see a contract offer for Freddie Freeman, I'm not really convinced that they were serious in those negotiations either. I don't know. We'll give them that one, whatever. It's been reported by all the big guys, but where's that information coming from? The Rays? Are the Rays putting that out there? Is it Freddie Freeman's agent putting it out there? Where did that information come from? So if it came from the Rays, I'll call me skeptical. And it's just until they, again, I don't listen to a whole lot of what they say. I look at what they do. And what they do is play with a $75-80 million payroll, bank about $60, $70, $80 million at least in profits a year, say they're broke, and
they tease us.
Kick the stadium down the line. I was talking to some baseball fans here yesterday. Rondé Barber played in the Pro-Am with our good friend Ken Hagan, who's going to join us tomorrow on the program. And we're talking about the baseball stadium, and we expect to get a proposal from Hillsborough County here pretty soon. We'll get more from Ken tomorrow. But there was a bunch of the Copperheads here, which is a lot of local businessmen and highly placed leaders in the community, and we're all talking about the baseball stadium. And it's like, with any other owner, that deal that they put out there in 2018 in Ybor, if they took that deal right then, which was basically half, you pay half, we pay half, we move forward. That we'd be getting ready to move into a stadium this year, a brand new, beautiful stadium in Ybor, which, by the way, may have brought us Freddie Freeman. You never know, because the other thing that baseball players say about coming to Tampa Bay is they don't want to play in the Trop. They hate the Trop. The Trop is awful. No players want to play in the Trop. Only players, free agents that don't have other options over their great options, and only players that are trying to rehab their careers in terms of position players. They don't want to come here. Pitchers love the Trop. They'll come here. They love playing in the Trop. But position players, no. And a new stadium brings new revenue, brings new hope, brings a whole new outlook. And those are huge things when it comes to landing free agents like Freddie Freeman. So we have to move the franchise forward. And this owner has been just entrenched in not doing so. So hopefully, with the developments of the lawsuit and everything else, this will hasten this stadium proposal or his removal from being the managing general partner. We shall see.
And it's like I said earlier. I mean, getting Freddie Freeman would have put some butts in seats. I think it would have.
Damn right it would have.
And I saw it all over Twitter yesterday. People being like, "Man, I'm going to buy." There was people saying, "I'll buy season tickets if we get Freddie Freeman."
Yeah,
like he's that big of a draw, and it disappointing. But we move on. We move on.
Exactly. And again, they had plenty of money to do it. Go higher in their offer. They just chose not to. I mean, would the Dodgers eventually outbid them anyway? Probably. To be honest, probably. But you're just not going to get there with what they were offering, and it may have been more. It may have been more with counting taxes and whatnot. But there's so much more that goes into where players choose to play. All right, we got to get to the Bucks situation as well. Boy, we kind of nailed this one yesterday, didn't we? With Chris Godwin, I think we literally said $40 million guaranteed yesterday, and I thought that's where the Bucks would be. And you brought up a great point yesterday about Godwin's agency, which is CAA. CAA also represents Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and I don't think there's any question that CAA was trying to break the bank with Chris Godwin. And they were advising him to take more, wait for more. And I think, and this is just my opinion, just based on reading the tea leaves, yesterday I put out the tweet that this is what I think was happening. I talked to some other folks that cover the Bucks, and they said probably the same thing. That's the way CAA works. And I'm not criticizing CAA. This is, that's their job to get maximum money for their players. And they do a hell of a job at it. But those contracts of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones broke the bank and crippled the Falcons for a decade. And that's probably what they wanted to do to the Bucks. But I think Chris Godwin said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I want to play with Tom Brady. And maybe Brady called him. Who knows? But I think he probably took less than what he was hoping to get or could have gotten on the open market. I don't know. The injury situation, if he's healthy, he gets way more than that on the open market. I don't think there's any question. But 3 years, $60 million, 40 guaranteed, which basically pays him. And I think he goes through the whole contract. This is not one of those contracts where they're going to release him after 2 years or a year. So he's going to make $76 million over a 4-year span. So that's probably as much as any receiver has been paid in the last 3 or 4 years. So I think it's a good deal, not an unbelievable deal for Godwin, but it gets him in. It allows the Bucks to maneuver now in the cap space area and be able to sign some other guys, maybe get Ndamukong Suh back, maybe Tyrone Matthew, who was taking a picture with Todd Bowles' son yesterday. Is that correct? Is that what you told me?
Volcano Bay, and I'm theorizing maybe Todd Bowles took the picture. Maybe he took the picture.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe he took the picture because he wasn't in it. So if they fill the Honey Badger spot, well, this Bucks. I said that I think this Bucks roster is going to be better than last year when they brought everybody back. I think it's going to be a little bit younger. They get Shaq Mason. They get Russell Gage. They've obviously bring back Ryan Jensen. Aaron Stinney is back. You look at this offensive line, and I could arguably say it's just as good as last year. Even with the loss of Marpet. I mean, Stinney filled in for Kappa, so it's really no drop off there on the offensive line, which we thought was going to be an issue, not an issue. AB compared to Russell Gage. Okay, listen, Gage ain't the player that AB is, but he's also not the pain in the ass that AB is. So there's some positives there.
I'm getting long-term stability with Russell Gage too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Remember that, and a guy that's improved every single year in the league. He's only 26 years old.
Yeah,
26.
Younger.
There's more there.
Yeah, a lot more there. So I love that situation. Of course, we'll hear from Carlton Davis as well. He did a media opportunity, and there's Gronk news. So Gronk was at the barbershop yesterday, and a young man was filming recording his little conversation. Do we have that?
I've been trying to effort it. It was from Mr. Empanada, the owner of Mr. Empanada.
Oh, Mr. Empanada. Love your empanadas. Yeah, Alan Villa, I think, or Villa.
Yeah, Alan Villa, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Empanada is coming up with some key content here.
Yeah, Gronk loves a good haircut there, and I think it was at Carewood, I want to say.
Yeah, the West Tampa barbershop.
West Tampa, yeah. We'll listen to the audio here.
All right, see if we can.
It's a very good chance.
He's not going to leave radio on.
Thank you. I'll let him have a little scare. Right? Oh, yeah? A couple months without me, and then, he just did it to me for a couple of months. So.
Thank you, my friend.
So basically, he's saying, Brady hung me out to dry for a couple of months with that retirement, so I'm gonna, maybe give him a little bit of scare. He's coming back.
He's back. By Greg Almond's math, by the way, I wanted to get this in here. $6.7 million over or under the cap the Bucs got last night, and then they restructured Mike Evans this morning. So that's not even going to the 6.7. So they should probably have somewhere in between 10 and 15 right now in cap space, if my math's correct. And they still haven't done anything with Donovan Smith's contract, Levante Davids, Devin White. There's some things they can do there. So
you're got room. Yeah.
You're getting at least, I think, Gronk, Sue, Golston, Lenny, probably two of those guys maybe. And then you can probably go after a Honey Badger. Who knows? Who knows? But
keep running.
They've done a lot of great work there in the office.
All right, looking forward to that. All right, the health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3447 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieve collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money, reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the Valspar Championship. We are so glad to be joined by Todd Kalas here, former Rays broadcaster, now working, helping out with the media side here at Valspar Championship, and we're going to talk some baseball and some golf. But let's start with golf. You were out there this morning. What are the galleries like?
Galleries are awesome. You're going to see a big pack come through here in a little while because DJ's group has a big following. He's with Bubba and Jason Day, and then right behind them, you have Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland and Abraham Answer, and then Louis right behind them. So, yeah, Brooks, there's massive star power on the back nine right now about to make the turn. You'll notice big crowds here in a minute.
That's crazy on a Thursday. Yeah. I mean, you don't see galleries like this, but it's St. Patrick's Day. The weather is perfect. I mean, I love the green, by the way. Very nice.
I know. Well, it's the most colorful tournament in all the world, right? And you know what color you have to wear today. Right. So, and normally
all I got, by the way, it's just my USF guy. Look, I'm in my closet. I'm like, this is all I got a monster hat and a little green. At least the greens match, right?
You got some green in the monster hat. Green USF. There you go. No, it's color. It's going to be a lot of color and a lot of cocktails today.
Yeah, we're sitting here poolside by Frenchie's here, and everybody's wearing green. Everybody's jumping up and getting a couple cocktails. It's before noon. Much respect for these folks. I absolutely love it. But this is what a golf tournament's all about, right?
Usually you have to wait till Friday to get the crazier crowds, but because St. Patty's falls on a Thursday this year, yeah, you got Thursday and Friday. It's going to be fun the whole way through.
Do we have any Irish lads in the field today? Is Potty here?
Shane Lowry's playing later on today. Yeah, he made the hole-in-one last week, and
are drinks still on him? Is that a week-long thing?
That's a good question because we're still within that week.
I think so. I'll look it up. Definitely in the Irish lore. I know that. I married an Irish woman, so yeah, it may last a month actually in the Irish world.
Yeah, he was out here having a good time with the fans. Everybody was reminding him yesterday during the Pro-Am about the hole-in-one. So maybe he's got a big tab going out here.
You know, Rondé almost had an ace yesterday at 13. Hit it to about 6 inches, I'm told.
Daggone, yeah. Rondé's team was out here. I guess Terrell Hatton on the front nine and Vince Whaley on the back. You caught up with them on the back nine?
I did, yeah. And Rondé shot, I think, like 2 over.
Come on.
Yeah.
His game's that good?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw on 18, or it was ninth hole. It was his final hole. He hit about a 300-yard drive over the bunkers on the right. Wow. He was actually about a yard behind Whaley, his playing partner, the pro. And they're both in the rough and like nasty lies. Both put it on the green, and Rondé just burned the edge for birdie, or would have shot 72. Would have equaled my media day 12 years ago. I reminded him. So,
Wait, you had a 72?
I shot 72 on a media day.
Gone. You guys have some game.
Well, not anymore. That was 12 years ago. That was the day. Actually, it was the first time I was supposed to play with Big Dog. May he rest in peace, our good friend. And for some reason, he didn't show. And then I threw a 72 up there, and I was like, "Good thing you didn't show, punk." Because now, if I had to play with him, I probably shot 82 or 102. But yeah,
good.
Listen, back in the day, I could actually play a little bit of golf, but not much anymore. But these guys out here, I mean, and this is what's fun about Thursday and Friday, because the crowd, even though they're big today, they're not as big as we're expecting this weekend. And Rondé was telling me this is a much bigger build out this year. Like there's way more places to get drinks and food and everything else. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, they've they've really established a whole new dimension in terms of how many different venues they have to hang out, not just private, but also public venues. So we were talking earlier about the crowds with DJ. So the layout of the course. The furthest points from the clubhouse are like 3, 4 on the front 9, and then like 12, 13, 11, 12. That's crowds were big for them on the back 9, 11, 12, like at 8:30 this morning. Yeah. So, but the good news is there's spots everywhere to get some food, to get some beverages, to hang out. There's spots to watch not only this tournament but March Madness later on the big screens. Oh, cool. So yeah, it's they cater to whatever your interest is. But so much, and by the way, a perfect day.
This weather's absolutely gorgeous. And last I checked, Oosthuizen birdied 4 of the first 5 holes. 6. Oh, did he? Yeah. That's not good. Yeah, check your leaderboard as I check mine. But I don't remember somebody birdieing 11, 12, 13, and 14. That is doing it. Johnny Vegas now is the 3 under par. And yeah, Oosty stepped back to 3 under par. Our friend Matt Kuchar at 3 under par. Okay. His caddy, Brian Reed's a good friend of the show, going to stop by tomorrow because he'll go out late tomorrow. And I'm trying to get him to drag Matty over here too. What a great guy.
Oh my God. And that's just another name like Matt Kuchar. That you talk about the 3 big drawing groups, you don't even mention Matt Kuchar. He's in this field playing and probably doesn't have as big a gallery, but one of the all-time great players.
Hey, let's transition to a little bit of baseball talk. Obviously, you're the play-by-play man for the Astros, longtime Rays broadcaster. My co-host Nick Geddes, a big Rays fan, is in mourning today because Freddie Freeman did not sign with the Rays, and I said I've been telling him all week, it's a pipe dream, bro. The pipe dream ain't happening. The Dodgers gonna outbid it. So he ain't coming here. Your thoughts on Freddie?
I love the fact that they're in the mix, and I don't think a Ken Rosenthal is going to tweet that they're one of the last 3 unless I don't think
I agree. I
don't think he's just doing Eric Nean a favor. So I do think they were legitimately in the mix. I think the 6th year for the Dodgers was probably beyond what they were comfortable with. So it was probably a long shot, but I can't remember the last time they were in the mix for a top-level free agent like that to the very end. So that could bode well for the future. We'll see. But I was excited for Rays fans that Freddie was a possibility.
And they're also going hard after Chapman and Olsen. That was also been widely reported. And at least in those negotiations, those are more about prospects, right? In terms of what you can give up. And I'm more disappointed that Neander didn't give up more prospects because we're loaded. I mean, we've got so many good arms and everything. That's where my disappointment lies because I think those guys were eminently more gettable and, frankly, better fits financially and obviously not as good a player as Freddie Freeman, but younger. And I think would have been great assets. So I'm more disappointed we didn't get those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 2 different sources of income, real cash and then prospects. And the Rays covet prospects. And they covet their cash too, but I mean, the prospects are what they've built their whole, 20 plus years on. So, and Atlanta gave a good stash for Olsen, and Toronto gave a big stash for Chapman. So, maybe it was too much for the Rays. And there's always a possibility. I mean, right now the bargaining is hot and heavy, but there's always a possibility they could make something happen in season 2.
Yeah, I don't think they're done by any means. I think they're going to find I think they're going to go get a first baseman. They're going to find somebody, and they're going to add some pieces. But still, with the roster they have right now, with the arms that they have right now, they're good. I mean, with adding Kluber and Rayleigh, if he comes in and does from the left side what we expect him to do, you've got a lot of good young players that are going to be better. Franco's going to be better. Rosarena's going to be better. Just by growth, these guys should be better, right?
Yeah, and you mentioned Kluber. One thing the Rays have always done is they've gotten guys on a lower salary coming off injury, and you bank on the guy having that pedigree in the past, like a Kluber. I've seen Brooks Raley the last couple of years with the Astros. He spins it well. Good lefty. He's always ready to take the ball. So yeah, those are 2 good additions, and the Rays offensively, the younger guys are getting better. I mean, Wander Franco's, barely 20. What is he, 21 now?
21. Yeah. 21 he'll be this year.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, they will probably still add a piece. I hear Austin Meadows' name bandied about in some rumors. So
which he could bring a humongous haul. I mean, and I think let's just be honest. He seems like a great candidate to bring a big haul because National Leagues teams will covet him with the DH. I think he's got to be very much in demand. And now that they don't have Freeman, I think maybe they can now go call those teams back that were interested in Meadows and know what they need.
No, you're right. And it's going to be another tough division. I mean, Toronto getting Chapman doesn't help the mix.
Pitching that they've added.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's AL East is legit, and now those 6 teams, because you got 12 teams in the playoffs, 6 teams in the AL, you could get 4, as many as 4 out of one division. So AL East, you eliminate Baltimore right away, but the other 4 should all be in play for the playoffs.
Yeah, just the unbalanced schedule kills you there, though. If you're in the AL East, I mean, you're just constantly every night going up against the super team and top, which is something I think baseball really needs to adjust. Do you agree?
They do, and they will. I mean, I don't know if it's official yet, but it sounds like next year they're going to go from playing 19 games against all their division mates to 13, basically.
That's huge for the Rays. That's humongous.
So yeah, instead of having 76 games against your own division, now you're dropping down to 52. You're playing every team in the National League if you're an American League team beginning next year. So you won't play every team at the Trop, but you'll get one, every other year. So you'll see not just the division you're playing, but you'll see the NL East, NL Central, NL West, one series. So every team will play every other team beginning next year, which I think is cool.
I like that, and that's a big deal for the Rays competitive wise. That's gonna make it much easier with more playoff teams and a balanced schedule. That's wow. I did not know that. That's huge for the Rays. Todd Kalas joining us here, play-by-play man of the Astros, longtime Rays broadcaster. So tell me a little bit about the Astros. A little bit of change going on there as well.
Yeah, Correa's still out there as a free agent. Scott Boras is his agent, so there's going to be a big price tag on top of Correa's name whenever that happens. But the Astros still are in the mix for him. If that doesn't happen, they're obviously not as good, but they'll still be one of the better teams in the American League. They've lost Lance McCullers, it sounds like, for the beginning of the season due to injury. So that's not going to help their pitching staff, but they have some depth there. They have the former Ray J. Odorizzi, who wasn't really as much in the mix last year. He'll probably be one of the guys to go along with Justin Verlander and some of their young arms. But they still have, Yuli Gurriel. They still have Jose Altuve. They still have Alex Bregman, Michael Brantley, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez. They still have some guys that can rake. So, yeah, they'll be competitive. They'll be probably the team to beat if they sign Correa.
And speaking of Kyle Tucker, playing high school, friend of the show, we had him on a couple of weeks ago. I actually had him out to Palma City to play golf. Bro, he can hit it. Yeah. He's just learning the game. Yeah, I know you've played Palma City, haven't you? If not, I got to get you out. So number 9, about 430 from the back tees. Yeah, we were playing a little scramble. We had about a 105 in, just hit bombs when he hits it. Yeah, a couple of them went sideways. Yeah, a couple of them went sideways. But once he learns how to play the game, and just talk about him and how he fits in with the Astros, and I know the fans love him. What a great young player.
Yeah, great young player, great kid. The Astros actually had his older brother Preston come through there first, and then Preston went over to Korea and played. But Kyle has always been, the stud in his days of playing high school and all the way through the minor leagues. And then he's just getting better and better and better. I mean, the thing about Kyle is he first came up, there's so much hype on him, and he didn't quite perform those first couple of years when he had the limited at bats, but he really came into his own. He could have been a couple of years ago vying for Rookie of the Year with Kyle Lewis, but they had one too many plate appearances for him the year before, so he wasn't eligible. But the thing about him, you look at his game, he's got all the ability to hit, and then his speed is underrated. He can steal you a bag. He's an aggressive base stealer, and his defense is right up there with the best in the metrics in the right field's defense. So, yeah, Tuck's going to be a starter for years to come. They have Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, 2 of the best left-handed hitters in the game at that age that they'll build around once, Altuve's gotten beyond his years of being productive.
Todd Kalas joining us here. Last thing for you, just in terms of where baseball's at right now. And obviously, your dad so intimately involved in the game, and you all your life. And when you see the acrimony between the players and the owners and what went on, especially what's happening around the world now, when you have millionaires and billionaires arguing over what essentially is pennies and costing games, it leaves a lot of bad taste for a lot of fans. How did you see the whole thing going down?
I understand the frustration for fans. It's not good, but it's more than pennies they're fighting over.
To them, it's pennies. Yeah. To us, it's not, but to them, it's pennies. I mean, seriously, you're arguing like $700,000 minimum salary, $725 for a $10.6 billion industry. I mean, it seems like pennies. It really does. Like
going in, I think the players collectively felt like they have not had the best of the sides the last 2 collective bargaining agreements. So there was a lot of pressure on Tony Clark. to get the best possible deal, and not just get a good deal, like get the best possible deal that the players will not look at with regret, whether it was for service time manipulation in the past or other issues that they felt like they didn't really have the foresight they should have. So there was a lot of pressure on him. I anticipated some sort of delay in spring training. I wasn't sure about the start of the season, but I knew there was a lot of issues. We haven't even, there was so much on the table, and then all of a sudden at the very end, the whole international draft came up, and there's still rules that have to be decided on. So there was a lot of issues on the table, but I can understand the fans' disappointment, but it did not shock me that it went down to the 13th and 14th hour.
Yeah. Not me neither, but it's just hopefully fans will just move on and come back to the parks because we love the game of baseball. I think it's never been more exciting here in Tampa Bay. I think there is a legitimate chance that we actually get a stadium deal done within the next 6 months, which obviously is a huge key here. And I think that's going to make, Tampa Bay a destination place to play once that gets done and the revenue starts coming in. You've seen it, new stadiums in Houston, Atlanta. You've seen that as well. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for a franchise, and will be for this franchise.
Well, first of all, I didn't know that until I just heard it from you, so that's great news.
Well, it's not. I'm not reporting it,
but I'm glad to hear you think that might happen.
I think it's. I would literally, with everything. I've been covering this for 12 years now. We've been doing this, and I don't think we've ever been closer. Everything is lining up. It's finally getting down to the wire. Nothing happens until the deadline, right? Mm-hmm. So 2027. So they've got to get it done within the next year, and I think it's going to get done.
Well, I'll take you back. You mentioned the Astros and Minute Maid Park, obviously, and the new stadium in Atlanta. I'll take you back to all the stadiums that were built because of Tropicana Field. Right. If you list the top stadiums in Major League Baseball right now, a lot of people put Safeco Field. That's my favorite American League stadium. A lot of people put Pac Bell, which is now something else, Oracle or whatever it is in San Francisco. That was built because of Tropicana Field. The White Sox got a new stadium because of Tropicana Field. All these teams that were threatening to leave their cities got new deals because they had built the stadium well before the Rays were even in the thought process. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to have a new stadium. This stadium, unfortunately, was built basically 10 years before the team even got in there, and it served its purpose, but it's not in the best spot geographically, and retractable roofs or whatever they can figure out is going to be the way to go.
I love Minute Maid. If we could put Minute Maid in Ybor City, you love that park's awesome.
It's awesome, and not just because I work for the Astros. I love that stadium before I got there. Yeah, the retractable, it's a small footprint downtown, retractable roof. They keep it closed most of the summer like they would here. But fireworks nights and early in the season, late in the season, they open it up and it's a whole different game.
You get real grass, which is, I think, critical for baseball.
Yeah, I mean, as good as the new developments are with the turf, it's still not the same.
No, it's just not the same. Well, Todd, thanks for spending some time, brother. Go enjoy some golf out there, and thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next year. We'll see you a lot more in Tampa Bay. Thanks to the new schedule.
There you go. I'll be here, buddy.
Awesome. Todd Kalas. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into a little bit of Lightning talk. They got a big win last night at Seattle, so we'll do that when we come back. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieb collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. The world economy is in chaos and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders, get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at you. Offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the Valspar Championship here. We are live out here at the Valspar, and the JP Peterson Show brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at PalermoPA.com. Todd Kalas joined us talking a little baseball. Now we're going to talk a little March Madness with our good friend David Zimroth, Coach Z, former USF FSU assistant coach, also at Georgia, has coached in the NCAA Tournament. It's March Madness, so we always go to the well to talk to our man, Coach Z. What's up, Z? How are you?
JP, that time of year again, huh?
It is. We got
Doing it
golf
all the
out
time.
here at the Valspar. Yeah, we got March Madness, which you can actually watch out here. They got big screens. I know you're coming out to support one of your former students there in Jackson Suber, who will be playing out here.
Jackson Zuber, another guy I drove out of basketball into another sport.
I don't know about all that, but you prepared him.
Great kid, great family. Excuse me?
I said you prepared him for this moment, his first PGA Tour event.
Yeah. I prepared him for all the adversity.
Hey, when there's going to be some, and that's an important part of being successful out here on tour. So, yeah, I can't wait to see him tee it up. And he's played here before in some junior tournaments. It's going to be a huge crowd out here from Palmacia, where he plays his golf in South Tampa and owns the course record, by the way, shooting a 59. So I'm really looking forward to him playing out here. All right, so let's talk some hoops here. First of all, we got March Madness starting today, and I've never been more detached from March Madness, just to be completely transparent. I know you're still very much in the college basketball, high school basketball world, so I count on you to help me out here today. Just from a general overview, I mean, you've got obviously Gonzaga and these top seeds. You've got red hot teams like Iowa, underdogs like Murray State, a team I've watched a little bit, who's 30-2 and hasn't lost since December. So give me a couple of your favorite storylines for this March Madness.
Well, you mentioned Murray State, what that guy's done there, having Ja Morant previously and just going through that league undefeated, which I think is the first time in the history of the league, is really quite amazing. When you look at the NCAA tournament, I'm one of those guys. I never do a bracket. I just don't get into it. I like upsets. Yet it's hard to pick somebody over, a one or a two. But, the team I really like this year, and a lot of people don't talk about it because, they're out on the West Coast. But, and I'm not talking about Gonzaga. You look at UCLA, and they had basically everyone back from last year's Final Four run they had, where they lost on a last-second, just ridiculous shot by the kid Suggs from Gonzaga. I like them. I just think they're tournament tough. They've got the whole team back, and I think they're on a mission. And then you have, you look at Gonzaga, unbelievable talent. Maybe the most, interesting kid in the country is the kid Chet Holmgren, the 7-foot kid that can just do everything on the court. He's a freshman. You got Arizona, which is a great story. Even though they're one seed, you're talking about a guy that was the assistant coach at Gonzaga all those great years. And in his first year as a head coach, he's been number 1 or 2 all year long. I look at them as being a team that, could get all the way. And then that one region, Midwest with Kansas, that's the one region I think there could be some, upsets. But I like Kansas. I like Bill Self. But don't discount USC. I think they're an extremely gifted team. They were ranked in the top 5 for, pretty good, portion of the season. But we all want the upsets. That's what makes Madness. And anybody that doesn't understand the greatness of this tournament, all they had to do is watch the 2 games last night. 2 games last night. You had Bryant and Wright State. There's a kid at Wright State nobody talks about, nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
Tanner Holden, kid had 37 points and 11 rebounds. That's a hard thing to do. He's a kid that stayed home. He's from Ohio, 2-sport athlete, goes to Wright State. Now he's a household name. Then you have double time game last night at Notre Dame. Rutgers was an incredible game, play after play after play. And then a kid from Fort Lauderdale, Westminster Academy, Paul Atkinson, tips in the game winner at the buzzer. And Notre Dame's moving on. The luck of the Irish, right, on St. Paddy's Day.
How about that? David Zimroth joining us here, former USF, FSU, and Georgia assistant coach. Coached in March Madness many times at FSU. I was there along with him, calling the games with Gene Deckerhoff back in the golden age. And that's I've covered a lot of things in my day, Z, and we can go back in the memory pool here. The FSU fans will remember. But those tournament games with Charlie Ward and Doug Edwards and Bob Sura and Sam Cassell, I mean, that was the golden age, really, of FSU basketball. I know Leonard's had some great runs here recently, and they got screwed out of the, maybe the best team FSU's ever had back in 2020 in the tournament for COVID. But the excitement and what's it like coaching in these games in March Madness for you on the sideline and that stuff?
You bring up those teams in the golden age. It's like, we're talking about the oldies and, music. I'm 66 years old. I feel like I'm 46, but it's a long time ago now. And it was a different time. There wasn't a lot of media attention. There was no Twitter. There was no Facebook, Instagram, none of that stuff. And if you did well, it was, you're on national TV. Everybody watched those. There weren't as many games on TV back then. Now you watch a game, the second there's a timeout, you're flipping channels. But in talking about Charlie Ward, I was just at a reunion in early February, and here's a guy that accomplished maybe, as much as any athlete that I've ever been around. Heisman Trophy and winning national champ, 12-year NBA veteran player, started for the Knicks. And all he wanted to talk about were the teams he was on. And all he wanted to do was be with the teammates he had. I mean, just special, special times. And when you see a guy like that can just feel the way he feels about his tenure at Florida State basketball, I'm not even talking about football. That's what makes it unbelievable for me as a former coach who had those years with him and had those special moments with him.
Yeah, it was such a special time, and it is a special time for these players as well. And do you have any other local kids that are playing in the tournament at all that we can follow or that you
I haven't even looked. I usually look that up, JP. I'm a little behind.
I know. That's okay.
Florida's not in the NCAA tournament.
I know.
Florida State's not in the NCAA tournament. Miami is. They don't have any Florida kids on this team. So it's an interesting time of year. And then with all the coaching changes, everybody talks about the postseason, March Madness. Part of March Madness is all these different job openings and guys getting fired. It's really, there's almost as much interest in that as there are in the games.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about that.
Personally, speaking personally, look, I'm a guy that lost his job, so I've been there. But when I lost my job, I wasn't getting $3 million to walk out the door.
Right.
I tell people I might be the only coach in history who lost money after he got fired. But a dear friend, a longtime friend of mine, Frank Martin, who just coached here in the SEC tournament with South Carolina, he lost his job. He'd been there 10 years. And again, he's getting $3 million plus, and he's got money to last him a lifetime and 10 lifetimes. I get it. But you wonder what all these athletic directors are looking for. So I looked back and I've been talking, because I'm a historian of South Carolina basketball. I grew up in Brooklyn. Back in those days, Frank McGuire was the head coach of South Carolina. It was the Underground Railroad, Bobby Cremins. All these New York guys were going down and playing in Columbia. Since then, there's been really no success. So you're talking, let's talk recent times. 30 years, in the last 30 years, okay? No one's done better than Frank Martin at that school. Nobody. He took a team to the Final Four. He's got the second most wins in the history of the school. And he lost his job. And you wonder what people are thinking. Like, do you think the job's a great job? I know the ex-baseball coach there was an unbelievable baseball coach, and now he's the AD. I get it. Guy was a national champion. I get it. But when it comes to basketball, the landscape is completely different. The recruiting of basketball players there's nothing like it in any other sport. Football can't relate to it. No other sport can relate to it. What you have to do to get a kid that can change your program, keep you employed, keep everybody happy, the stories are limitless. It's unbelievable what you have to do and what you have to go through and what you have to see. And I just think the guy was unfairly, let go. I think
agree.
Going to a Final Four is something that should buy you an incredible amount of time. And you got to understand the product you're selling. You're in the Southeast Conference. I mean, that school is not a Southeast Conference school. It's an ACC school, but the ACC won't let them back in because they left the ACC. So he's recruiting against ACC schools, and he's recruiting against all the other Southeastern Conference schools where if you're a great player, are you going there? You're going to go to Kentucky. You're going there, you're going to go to Auburn. I mean, it's a tough situation. And I thought Frank did a really, really good job there.
Yeah, I think South Carolina's going to find out that the next guy they hire is not as good as Frank Martin. It's going to be a huge mistake, but the impatience of some of these athletic directors is ridiculous, and I think they'll find that out the wrong way. You know, there was an interesting rumor that popped up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Z.
You know, a lot of these schools that have been successful, a lot of these school programs that have been successful, JP, they've had homegrown talent. You look at Memphis. When Memphis was great, Memphis had kids from Memphis. When South Carolina was really good, they had kids from Columbia. You know, after the days of Frank McGuire. So the last time they went to the Final Four, Frank was able to keep some kids from Columbia home. Okay, Thornwell and Dozier. Well, those guys are in the NBA.
Yeah,
it doesn't turn out the kids they used to turn out. So you go through these peaks and valleys of where your local talent is not at the level. And now they got probably the best player in the last 10 years who had the number one. And, who knows if the kid is going to go there now. This kid, G.G. Jackson, who knows? Nobody knows now because they fired the guy that was doing all the recruiting on. So those things can set your program back.
Not smart. I was going to mention there was a rumor out there that Rick Pitino, because he has some ties to Tampa, he's a member out at Old Memorial, has a lot of good friends here, that he might come to USF, and the boosters were going to get a lot of money together. And I contacted one of Pitino's friends, and the answer was an NFW, exclamation point. Like, he's not coming here. So what, Brian Gregory just got an extension. What do you think's going on at South Florida?
You know, we talked about this the last time. Look, I don't want to see anyone lose their job, regardless of anything else. Losing your job, it hurts you. It just hurts you, your family, and everyone. It hurts. Guy was just given a contract extension by the athletic director, a very good guy and a very experienced guy in the business of sports. And it's a little unfair, I think, for people to now talk about the job that may be being open, or they'd like it open, when the guy just got a contract extension. He's out there trying to, rebuild the program. And so I think it's a little unfair. But, to assume who would get that job and to, that's where this postseason coaching changes stuff. It's unbelievable. The rumor mill never stops. Rick Pitino's probably a member of a lot of country clubs, okay? Rick Pitino's got a house on Miami Beach. His name doesn't get mentioned for the University of Miami. It doesn't get mentioned for the Miami Heat. Obviously, the guy has done an amazing job in his career, yet he's had some of his own issues. But last night, he played in Gainesville on a court named after his most famous players, Donovan, and he lost last night to a coach, Alan Pinkins, who that was the first time the guy's ever coached. He coached a group of kids that just lost their head coach that was recruited by all those guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that could be successful. They just need to be given a chance,
Right.
And the guy at Florida being one of them. But, there's another job that's open, University of Florida. Look, we're Seminoles. I would love to see somebody get the job at Florida that I know, somebody that I know is connected within the state, somebody that if I want to drive an hour and 15 minutes, hey, Z, I got you covered. I mean,
maybe Frank Martin.
And I think the guy, well, if it's not Frank Martin,
they should hire Frank Martin. They should hire Frank Martin.
It's got to be Anthony Grant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah. Either one of those would be great hires, I would think.
They check Anthony Grant checks all the boxes, JP. He was an assistant coach there, won 2 national championships back-to-back, recruited a majority of the guys. He's a very, very good coach. He's coached on every level in the pros, college, been a head coach at Alabama, VCU, now at Dayton. His team was ranked number 1 in the country a couple of years ago. I mean, he'll recruit Florida. He'll recruit the state of Florida. People know who he is. I always say this. I don't understand why athletic directors hire people to coach at certain schools that are not connected to the state they're working in. Okay. And in this state, there's players, an abundant amount of players at every level that can help every school. But if you're not connected to those people that have the inroads with the kids, whether it be the high school coach, AAU, community influencers, aunts, uncles, parents. It's blueprints for failure. You can't get it done.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And they would do well to hire one of those guys, and maybe hire a guy that's still pretty connected to all the local high schools to do some recruiting for them. That would be you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm too old to do all that stuff.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you're old, but you're a young man at heart. By the way, Bob Passwaters says hello.
Talk about other people.
Bob Passwaters just sat down right across from me. He says hello. He says you should go to work for USF or a UF. Come on. He said sign up. Come on. So you still be the best recruiter in the state.
Way back for all the Hooters guys, man. That's special group of guys. Special group.
Hey, last question. Give me an update on what's going on with FSU. I mean, they beat Miami twice this year, back to back, and we're on their way to the tournament, and they lost 4 starters. A tough year for Leonard Hamilton. Where's that program sitting as far as guys coming back next year?
I think they're fine. Look, they had injuries, galore. The fact that they finished 10-10 in the league was amazing. They've got a 7-foot kid, last name Butler. I'm going to tell you this right now. He's one of the most talented kids I've seen. Watch for him to have a breakout season. Got to ask, you didn't even ask me about the guy sitting next to me at the Southeast Conference Tournament. My phone was off the hook that night.
Scottie Pippen. Yeah, you and Scotty hanging out. You got history with Scottie Pippen?
I mean, Jerry Stackhouse, who I coach his older brother, Tony Dawson. I've known Jerry since he was the head coach of Vandy. He had me tickets, so I get my ticket. The person that looks at it goes, "You're down in the first row behind the bench." I said, "Oh, great." My guy Jerry, take care of me. Find the bench. I get down there, and the seat I'm supposed to sit in, the whole area is taken. And I said to the guys, "Look, man, I'm in this row number 5, but I'll just sit here. Don't worry about it. You're all together." They go, No. Come on down. Sit in your seat. So I go sit in the seat, and next to me stands up, and I look at him. It's Scottie Pippen. The guy's like, you can't believe how big he is. I mean, the guy's just big. So we shake hands, this and that. And, little chit chat here and there. Nothing big. But the phone was dinging off the hook, I didn't know you knew Scottie Pippen. How? I don't know, but it was nice sitting next to him and watching his kid play. He was, gentleman. He, had some, little conversations here and there. But, finally I had to pull Frank Sinatra on the guy with Don Rickles. Hey, Scotty, I'm trying to watch the games. Stop asking all these questions.
Oh, Z, you're the best, man. Listen, thanks for your time as always. Can't wait to see you out here at the Valspar. Let me know when you're coming out. Hit me up. We'll go watch your former student Jackson Suber play a little golf out here.
He's off at 2:30 today.
All right, I'm going to be there with everybody else. Probably half in the tank from the St. Patty's Day. Passwaters will be right next to me. So, all right, thanks, Z. Appreciate it. Great David Zimroth right there. DZ Sports. You can catch him up on Twitter at DZ Sports. And if you have a youngster that you're trying to teach the game of basketball, get him involved in Z's clinics. He's the best teacher in the world. So many of his ex-players on college scholarships into the NBA, connected to the basketball world. He's the best in the business. Coach David Zimroth at DZ Sports on Twitter. Give him a follow. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, who knows who we'll talk to here. I got a big-time celebrity sitting right across from me, so stay with us. We'll be back to the Valspar Championship. It's the JP Peterson Show. Back in 3. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julian collection is Julian Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade it anytime and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. It's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. The world economy is in chaos and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, John Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities, including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the Valspar Championship here, the JP Peterson Show. It's a beautiful day. We're out here at Frenchie's. Our show obviously brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Our second hour brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Chris Lugo and his team over there. So check them out at BAMMC.com. Unfortunately, we're not brought to you by Hooters, but maybe soon. Maybe I'm working on that. But the man who's synonymous with Hooters in this area, the great Bob Passwaters, joining me here for a little bit of golf. And I love the Irish hat, my friend.
Hey, I like that hat. I was searching around at home, and I remembered, St. Patrick's Day. I went in the closet. There it was. I bought that up at that famous restaurant up in the Panhandle that's sold out every year. You can't buy stuff anymore. So
what is that place?
McCarthy's or whatever the hell it is. And they've got the Irish prayer inside.
Yes, the Irish blessing. May the wind be always at your back, lad. Always.
Yep.
And may your wings always be hot at Hooters.
And they wish they didn't have the wind at the Players. I can tell you that right now.
Did you go for that?
No, I didn't, but I watched it and I was going, oh man.
Oh, you loved it just like I did. Yeah. You love seeing those guys be just like us, don't you?
They lasted. Oh, that's a shot I could have made.
I know there were guys sitting there like 40 yards offline. I'm like, yep. Now you know how it feels. Now it feels to be me. You are synonymous with Hooters, but you go back. You're also a huge part of the local sports scene, going way, way back. I mean, you guys have been involved in just about with every team everywhere. You were just telling a great story, and nobody tells stories like the man Bob Passwaters, about Phil Esposito when he was trying to get hockey going here in Tampa Bay. Tell us that one.
Well, I'm telling it and with a little prayer because they're honoring Dick Daly today, who had an ad agency, and they're honoring him over at the Copperhead Suite here at Valspar. And Dick Daly was the initial guy who brought the Valspar bought. He had the mixed team event at Bardmore, and he's been involved and on the board with Valspar for many years. He unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, Daly, back in the day, Daly was had a big ad agency, and he was bringing Phil Esposito to town to kind of get a feel if he thought this would be a good market for hockey. And Dick called Ed Drosty and me up and said, I'm taking him around, but he's not getting a lot of warm and fuzzy response from people. They were saying,
nobody know who he was, right? It's like it's Phil Esposito. You can't walk it down the street in New York without getting out, and nobody knew who he was.
Exactly. Plus hockey in Florida, please. Anyway, so he called and said, "Can you guys bail me out? I'm taking him to Hillsboro Hooters for lunch." So Ed and I are sitting around. So we said, "Oh yeah, we can do something." So we went out to somewhere and bought those magnetic hockey games where you can move it around and it makes little noises. And then we went over and we took those and put them on a table. And then on our marquee at the Hillsboro Hooters, it said, "If you like hockey pucks, you'll love our hamburger." And so Phil pulled up. Of course, he was laughing when he came in. And so Drosty thought, well, we got to get a little better response. So Ed went around to a bunch of people who were sitting around in the restaurant and bought him wings and said, "I'll buy these, but when this guy comes in, he's a famous hockey player, bring a menu or something over and ask for an autograph." So like 10 or 15 people came over and asked for autographs because they got some free wings from Drosty. But
now, did you ever tell Phil that story?
I think I did one time. We told him I did. I had to be careful how I put it to him, but I said we just kind of helped out a little bit to get some people come. But there were a lot of people who knew you, Phil. But
yeah, they just weren't sure it was you. Yeah, so we just had to confirm it so they wouldn't feel bad coming up and asking you.
They thought it was Tony Esposito.
Well, listen, and I bet that was an important part of him saying, "Okay, all right, they know some hockey people are, even if it was a little manufactured, that's okay."
You got to do something if you want to get hockey here. And I think we played a little part in making Phil Esposito love this area, and look what he's done.
Yeah, the story of how hockey got here is just amazing. It's one of the most incredible stories. And now we sit here 30 years later as back-to-back champions of the NHL with one of the best teams in the league.
It really is unbelievable. We were going to those early games, I think, out at the fairgrounds and then in St. Pete. And we had a suite when they opened up at Amalie there. And, yeah, it's awesome. I'll tell you what.
Well, you guys are also involved very much in the Valspar, and I think I get a lot of ticket requests throughout the year, as you might know, and I don't think I get as many as when Valspar comes around and everybody wants to get into the Hooters Owl's Nest. I mean, what you guys have created there. I mean, I remember started out, it was just like a little tent on the 17th, right? On the 17th, and now. Can you explain the madness that is happening over there now?
It really is unbelievable, JP. They've expanded it. We're over at the 12th green, and the 13th tee's right behind. And we had a little high-rise area with seats, and we at the Owl's Nest you get free beer, plus you get a little boat of chicken wings, and then there's an inside area that's like air conditioned. But now they've expanded it further over on the 12th, and I mean it's I don't know how many people that holds, but I went by there. It's jammed today
on a Thursday morning. By the way,
I know, and people love it. And we've got a good staff there working, and the people like coming in there, and that's one of the gates, so people come in. And then if you want to go to the Owl's Nest or walk around, you can. And it's fantastic. We've been doing it for, like you mentioned, a long time. I mentioned to you the great Gerald Goodman, who started. He came up to Danny Walker and to us and Ed and said, "Hey, I want to do something over here at this 17th." And so that's when and not to put down the kind of crowds they had back then, but we kind of invigorated the crowd a little like they do in Phoenix. It's not that wild, but
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places to hang out. Are there any? They usually sell out. That's the first thing to sell out. They're all sold out.
I think it's all sold out. You used to be able to get upgrades. I think you can get upgrades today. If you have a ticket, you can get an upgrade to go in the Owl's Nest. But I think, because we were selling them at all the restaurants, and of course they sold them online and through the Valspar site. And
so you have been synonymous with sports here, and Hooters has. What do you have any best memory of? I mean, you guys have the suite at Raymond James, which is legendary for hosting parties and concerts. I've been lucky enough to get in there a few times. Do you have any of your favorite stories?
I'll tell you one of the really funny ones when we first had a double suite, 32 seats, and there was somebody that was going to come by. It might have been Steve DeBerg or somebody was going to visit the suite. Well, Tom McEwen, and we had two entrances and a bar right in the middle, and there was one door on one side and another door on the other side. And so Tom McEwen came up because I told him that DeBerg was coming by. So he was before the game, and so he came in, and we're standing there, and Ed's there, and we're kind of talking, and the maintenance guy or the garbage guy, picking up all the garbage guy, came in on the one door on the left, on the right side, came walking in, looked in the garbage. There was, of course, nothing in there, checked it out, and I think he'd had a few somethings. So he walked out that door, went over, came in on the right side to us standing there, and he said the same thing. "How are you guys doing? What a nice," and he just talked to us 2 seconds ago. And McEwen is cracking up. Tom goes, "I guess that guy's a little looped."
It might have been DeBerg.
Yeah.
No, kidding, Steve. We love Steve. You guys have had such a great run here. Tell us a little what's going on with Hooters these days. You got a lot of your fans here. Yeah, come on over.
Coming up is the great Todd Leeser, whose son is running the Visit St. Pete Clearwater booth right here.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So
what's going on with Hooters these days?
Well, we're doing great. We finally got back where we've got some staff is picking up a little bit as far as employees, so that's doing good. The franchise company has been expanding, and they're in Europe and in other places now, kind of concentrating on that. And so that's been going well. Our stores, we have the stores. Our guys have the stores here in the Tampa Bay area. I think they're 12 or 13. We have about the same amount in Chicago, and we had one at Madison Square Garden in New York, which has been closed because of the pandemic. But and I'm not sure what's going on with that, whether they're going to reopen or not. And then, of course, we've opened up Hoots, which is kind of a fast casual kind of thing. That we have one in St. Pete, and we have
been to that one.
Been the one on Dale Mabry, and they're like 4 in Chicago. It's a smaller layout, different menu, and all that. They do a ton of to-go business, right? But that's just starting, and that's expanding. So that's going well also. So
well, congratulations on your continued success, my friend, and thanks for hooking me up at the Owl's Nest this week. I appreciate that.
Not a problem, anytime. All
right. And my card's expired.
I'll get on that right away.
I think.
Let me call Drosty right now. I've got his hotline.
I think it's the first VIP card I think I ever got was my Hooters VIP card. And it was one of the greatest days of my life. It really was. I was just talking to, I think we were talking about this on the air when I was in college, when you guys first started, early 80s, right? 83. So like there was this room, like at the frat house, hey, I heard this place in Tampa. It's unbelievable. These girls wear these orange shorts. We got the chicken wings. It's right near Ray J. We got to go. We literally took a road trip. We took a road trip to Hooters, just because we'd heard the stories, and it did not disappoint. I might add that was fantastic.
Well, in those early days, you remember at the original Hooters, and I think we opened Hillsborough maybe a year later. But when the Bears would come in, Walter Payton would be sitting around at the original Hooters, and McMahon would be over the whole gang over at Hillsborough and all those NFL teams, and mainly, as you know, the PR guys back then. Rick Odioso and Bob Best and those guys, they would tell the PR guys where to go, and they would tell the players, and so it became every time a team came, and back there those teams stayed at Steinbrenner's Hotel, which right there on the Causeway. So, and
that was and that's why you guys have all those old pictures of Walter Payton and John McMahon, and that was always kind of part of it. So, always synonymous with sports. We appreciate you, Bob. Thanks.
And a celebrity just walked up by me. A gorgeous celebrity. I haven't seen her in a while. Tracy West, who runs this fantastic tournament.
We're going to have her on next. So, and I don't know if she wants to follow the great Bob Passwaters, though. I don't nobody, you want to follow Bear Bryant, Tracy. I don't know. It's this tough. But thank you, Bob. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you later this week. We'll have a lot of fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and the aforementioned Tracy West is going to join us, the grand poobah of the tournament here. Will tell us all the things that are happening. So we'll take a quick break. And we'll be back here to the Valspar Championship, JP Peterson Show, right after this. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds in another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade it anytime and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Valspar Championship here. JP Peterson Show brought to you by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center and also the law offices of Christopher Palermo and the Valspar Championship, which has been one of our sponsors this year, and the director of the tournament, Tracy West, sitting down with us here. Tracy, how are you?
I'm excellent. How can I not be? It's a beautiful sunny day, and day one of the championship is here, and fans are pouring in.
Yeah, Todd Kalas was out there earlier, sat down with us and said he's never seen galleries like this on a Thursday. DJ's out there. He's at 3 under par. He's putting on a show. He's playing with Bubba Watson, which is always a show, and Jason Day, former #1 in the world. I mean, that's a pretty good show for a Thursday morning on a St. Patty's Day.
That is a really good show so far. And Colin Morikawa is in the group right behind him. I mean, we've got over 20 of the top 50 in the world. Great group of guys out here playing. Hovland, ton of guys to come out and watch and see.
I haven't looked at the tee sheet this afternoon. Are there a lot of big names this morning? Got time to still catch them. What about this afternoon?
Yeah, they divide them up in half. So there'll be another good group out. Heck, I don't even remember myself half the guys that are in the afternoon versus the morning. But there's plenty of time. I mean, play will go to, till dark. We have such a large field. So the first day it'll go to dark. So people have a ton of time to get out here still.
A great way to spend your St. Patty's Day. So bring a little green. Now you teased this, and I was upset when I walked through the gate and I did not see Rondé Barber in a kilt. But at some point, he's going to be greeting fans in a kilt.
He is in a kilt. So he's in a kilt. Our former past general chair, Keith Robinson, and then our current vice general chair, John Astrab. All three of them are in a kilt. They're going to be on the tee this afternoon because one of the groupings this afternoon is Shane Lowry and Graham McDowell, and they are going to be on that tee with those guys. So they're wearing kilts.
You want to come out and see a show. You come follow Shane Lowry and Graham McDowell, the two Irishmen in the field, with Rondé, the past chairs and kilts. I think that's going to be a traveling show. That's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And it's really fun just to watch and see all the fans that have come out dressed colorfully, but also in their St. Patty's Day gear. It's a lot of fun. We've got a couple interns out there finding everybody that's dressed really, really fun. And we're going to have an outfit contest on the 18th green right after play. And Rondé is going to be a judge. Hall of Famer Nick Price is going to be a judge. And we're going to give out a bunch of prizes. And the winning person is going to win $500 on Delta Airlines.
That's awesome. And I've seen a couple of folks here dressed up. One guy with a green beard. That's you've seen that dude.
I have seen that dude.
He's the winner.
We're trying to find him and get him to make sure he's there at the end of the day.
Yeah, he was here earlier with his girlfriend or wife. She's the two of them.
Yeah.
That's a good couple.
That's a good couple.
Leaders in the clubhouse right now, I'd have to say.
I literally had to make a phone call to my intern and try and describe where they were and said, come find this couple.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to stay the whole day. But since they're at Frenchie's at 10 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. But they're Irish. They have the staying power. So I'm hopeful. All right. So tell the fans, I know ticket sales have been through the roof. So tell us the easiest way to get the tickets, give them the game plan here, because it's going to be crowded. You got to have a game plan for parking, everything. So you're the expert. Tell them how to do it.
Yeah, certainly. ValsparChampionship.com for the tickets, and then you can purchase advanced parking, which we highly encourage people to do. We also encourage people to ride share. If you ride share, right, our green lot, right, which is right adjacent to the golf course, you get dropped off and you literally walk in through gate 4. It is a terrific way to do it. But if you need to drive your own car, just buy parking in advance and all of that. And tickets are on ValsparChampionship.com.
And do we have shuttles and parking lots as usual? Tell us where that is.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of them. Most of our general parking lots, one of them is the red lot, which is St. Pete College in Tarpon Springs here, which is on the corner right across the street from Innisbrook. We also have Palm Harbor University High School starting Saturday and Sunday. We've got Carwise Middle School here in Palm Harbor starting today. So lots of different lots that folks can have access to, and then we shuttle them right on in.
Yeah, it's super easy. They pick you up right there and they bring you right to the front of the gate. It's super easy to get in. So don't worry about parking. If you're worried about that, either purchase it or get to those big parking lots. There'll be plenty of parking, and you can jump on the bus. Super easy. Is Saturday? Can you still get Saturday with Chris Young and Big and Rich playing that night?
Yeah, absolutely. So that day, anyone that has grounds ticket is invited after play to our concert called Valspar Live, presented by Chick-fil-A. It's right off of our 14th fairway. And as you said, we've got Big and Rich is the opening act, and then country superstar Chris Young. And it's right off our 14th fairway, and we'll start about a half hour after play ends on Saturday.
Unfortunately, I have a lightning game to do that night. The only time I maybe want to be other places, but we got the Rangers on Saturday, which is going to be fun. So I'll be doing golf in the day and a little hockey at night. Tell me a little bit about some of the extra things that we have here. A lot of people may not be familiar. It's old hat to you, but some of the highlights of stuff we have out here for people to do.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is we have so many different areas that fans can sit and watch golf and have some great food and beverage. We're sitting right here, obviously, at Frenchie's Pool Deck. So great local institution, of course, with she crab soup and the whole grouper sandwiches.
It smells so good right now. It's killing me.
I know, I'm dying myself. But then we have a lot of areas on course from that are accessible to anyone with a grounds ticket. So basically, we've got a margarita deck with Master Doble on the 13th green. We've got a Horse Soldier bourbon whiskey deck on the 10th green. We've got a Josh Sellers wine deck. There's a theme here. Josh Sellers wine deck on the 9th green. Between the 9th green and 10th tee, there's the Michelob Ultra Club. A new deck this year, fan deck on the 10th tee, Celebrity Cruises. And then our Chameleon Cove. I mean, heck, you can go out to the 3rd green, buy food at the concessions, sit in about 100 colorful Adirondack chairs, take your shoes off, put your feet in the sand, and watch the play come through the 3rd green. There's just a bunch and our Publix Chill Lounge between 8 and 9. So there's just a lot of areas for fans to be, a lot of activities and fun things around the course that you can take pictures with, big Adirondack chairs, huge colorful Valspar paint chips, tiny homes, to come out. That Valspar's got decked out in the Valspar colors of the year, paint colors of the year. So there's the Tampa General Courtyard behind the 18th green. So plenty of places to sit, get great food, great drink. We have a signature cocktail called the Copperberry that's served. We've got a signature sub, the Birdie sub that Publix helps us put together. So a lot of things to do. Come dressed colorfully. We give out prizes to folks. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to be a golfer or a golf fan. It's just a great place to be out in the sun and with people and having a good time and seeing this beautiful property of the Copperhead course at Innisbrook.
Yeah, if you've never been out here to this golf tournament, it's so much fun. Not only for golf fans, and I'm a huge golf fan. And you can watch golf on TV, but until you've been, and this is one of the tournaments. Even though we have big crowds, you can get 2 or 3 people back, or you can get right up on the ropes depending on how you play, and see Dustin Johnson hit a golf ball 325 yards. I mean, it's spectacular. Even if you're not even a real hardcore golf fan, if you've never seen a pro hit a golf shot live with your eyes, it's different than it is on TV.
They are way above the rest of us. There's a lot of us that think, oh, we might be a good golfer, or, whoa, I'd love to play the Champions Tour one day, whatever. These guys are a different breed, and it is impressive to see what they can do because you just don't have that appreciation when you watch them on television. So as you said, JP, and what's nice about this course is it's not just a bomber's course. You're going to see them out there bombing it, of course, but the different shot shapes that they need to do on the Copperhead and place their shots the right way, they're really thinking their way through this course. And so it's really fun to watch. And as you said, these guys are accessible. When they're done signing out, or with scoring, they'll sign autographs and so forth. And it's just a lot of fun to be here.
Well, and I have to say a huge thanks to you and your staff, the great Rick Odioso, who's here. Todd Kalas sat down with us earlier, and all the volunteers. And as I walked in, I saw the post there, $1.6 million last year to local charities. And that was with COVID still reducing the fan access. No, wide open this year, and then $46 million over the life of the tournament. And these are not just grants that go to big organizations. It's a lot of smaller organizations, local places that really count on this money. I've interviewed some of them, and it's like it really runs their entire charity for some of them. It's so important, and the players are a big part of it. Your staff is a big part of it. So a huge thanks to you. And Ronnie told me yesterday that you're expecting the 2018 Tiger type of crowds here today with this weekend without Tiger, which is amazing.
Yeah, darn close. We're rivaling. So we absolutely will have our biggest year, at least without Tiger. But we're getting close. I mean, we're hoping the numbers come in, and the weather is definitely going to cooperate. So hopefully the field cooperates, and a lot of the prominent guys make the cut. And if that happens, we think on Saturday and Sunday we're going to approach those levels, no question. So we're really excited, and I can't thank the Tampa Bay community enough for coming out and supporting this event. And as you said, it not only supports the event from a charitable impact that we have in the community, but the economic impact that this tournament has in the area, the prominence that we help do via the NBC broadcast and Golf Channel broadcasts in 220 countries. So we're shining a light, on what we all know is a great place to live and be. But, people tuning in to watch the Valspar Championship, they make this a destination to come to. So we thank the Tampa Bay community for coming out and supporting the event.
Well, it's one of the reasons that makes this the best place in the world to live. We have a PGA Tour event here, and it's one of the best in the business, and you're a big part of that in your team. So thank you very much. So go do your work. I know you got lots to do. Thank you so much, Tracy. Appreciate it, honey. We'll see you soon. The great Tracy West there. This really is a marquee event on the calendar, and if you still have plenty of time to come out here and join us. Nick, you've been sitting there so silent today. We've had all these guests, and you see me by the pool here. You have a great job, but on days like this, it's not so fun for you. So I want you to know we got tickets for you all weekend long. You get to come out here, enjoy all this beautiful weather, see all your favorite golfers up close. Even though Freddie Freeman's not a Ray, it's going to be a good weekend for you.
Remember this last year. We were there poolside, and it was actually like my first few days being
that's right.
Yes. And first thing I walked up and I shook Rondé Barber's hand. So you did enough for me. You did enough for me last year. So it's all good.
Well, he's going to stop by probably tomorrow. So I'll see him today in his kilt, and we'll have plenty. Yeah, check out my Instagram, the show Instagram. Follow that JP Peterson Show on Instagram. We'll be live storying the hell out of this today. We'll give you all the behind the scenes stuff from the Hooters Owl's Nest, all the good stuff here at the Valspar. All right, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk some Lightning. Big win last night over Seattle. They're headed home to play the Rangers on Saturday. Found a little bit last night. Victor Hedman with a couple of goals, so we'll talk about that. We'll update you on NFL free agency. We'll talk some Bucks as well, and hopefully the Rays will be making a move as well. We'll hit that again when we come back. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new, healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
Sorry, we're back there. I was chatting with Bob Bolton, one of the folks out here working in the media, as we were out at the Valspar Championship live. I just checked the leaderboard a moment ago, and Louis Oosthuizen is back to 5 under par. Johnny Vegas, 6 under par. They're tearing up this golf course. This Copperhead course is a little gettable today. A little moisture out here this morning, but winds are calm, so it's kind of gettable. 5 under for Louis, who went out early, birdied 4 of the first 5 holes, and is at 4 under par. Vegas at 6 under par. Who else? Kramer Hickok at 5 under par. Some of the bigger names, DJ at 3 under par today. Jason Day, who's playing with him, matching his 3 under par. They're playing their 12th hole. Started on the back, so they are on the front side now, playing number 3, or just got done with 3. Brooks Koepka at 3 under par. Matt Kuchar at 3 under par. Matt Fitzpatrick at 3 under par. One of the sponsors exemptions. As we mentioned earlier, Jackson Suber, who is a member at Pompacia Country Club, grew up here in South Tampa, played for Plant High School, now is playing for Ole Miss and is number 7 ranked player in the PGA collegiate rankings. He got his first sponsors exemption this year and will be teeing off at 2:30 this afternoon. So there will be a huge local contingent following him today, with which I will be a part of. So we'll be reporting on that. So Nick, highly advise you to come if you can come out this afternoon. I don't know what your Outkick responsibilities are today, but if you got some time, come on out and join us here.
Try to fit it in the March Madness schedule. It's going to be pretty hectic here this week.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about that today. The games start here early on. I haven't even checked out the schedule of the best games of the day. What do you got? Anything you're looking at today?
Well, we got Michigan. Michigan is going to lead us off, by the way, 12-15. I'm not sure how they're in the tournament, to be honest.
17 and 13?
Yeah, 17 and 14, and that gets you in the tournament these days.
How the hell did that happen?
Who knows? Who knows? But they got Colorado State, so I think Colorado State's going to roll them, frankly. But you're going to get Baylor's in the action, Tennessee, Gonzaga later, and then tonight UCLA is in action. So Kentucky. So a lot of the best teams are in action. But of course, these are games we're all expecting these teams to win. I don't think it's upset city for the 1, 2, or 3 seeds, but there's some other intriguing games here, though. I could see North Dakota State upsetting Providence 13-4. We see one of those every year.
Chris
Dakota State
will not like that.
Yeah, North Dakota State's 30-4. So I picked them in my bracket. So I'll be watching that 12:40. But yeah, great slate today and tomorrow.
Game of the day, according to CBS Sports, is number 7 Murray State against number 10 San Francisco. Either one of these teams is good enough to beat a major conference opponent in the first round, but they got squared off against each other in what is clearly the game of the day, set for 9:40 p.m. tip-off from Indianapolis. Boy, after a St. Patty's Day out here, I don't think I'm seeing 9:40 tonight, but certainly not seeing the second half of that game. So we shall see. But March Madness, and of course, last night the Lightning get a 4-1 win over the Kraken. Their first trip to Seattle out there at the Climate Pledge Arena, which has to be the worst name in all of sports in terms of arenas. I thought a good performance last. Obviously Seattle is the bottom of the barrel, not a great team. Yanni Gord gets a marker against his former team. That was kind of cool. Lots of fans saying, "Hey, can y'all put Yanni Gord in one of your suitcases and bring him back?" If there was any way they could acquire that guy and get him back at the deadline, I don't think that's happening. But boy, that would be a nice shot in the arm for the Lightning. I think they're going to do something at the deadline. I don't know what, but I think we're going to see something at the deadline. And last night, Hedman with a couple of goals.
think we lost JP here real quick with his audio. I'm not sure. JP, can you hear me in your in your headset? There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. My I don't know what's going on. My computer just on its own just puts the mute button on there, but whatever. Did you play the Hedman? I didn't hear it. If
No, I didn't get a chance to hear you there, but here we go now with the first Hedman goal from last night.
Another rush. Right wing for Kucherov. Hedman across the blue line, right point. To Steven Stamkos left circle. Back for Hedman, left point. Shoots. Score! Hedman a blast from the left point. Not sure if that was tipped on the way in. The Lightning have scored a power play goal and go up 2-1.
8:48 will be the time of the goal, but that's something they've been doing that a lot. When their power play is working, that shot is getting through there. And I think what had happened is that Perry was in front. I don't think he got a piece of it, but it got to the short side. Grubauer really moved over a little bit too far to the middle of the net, and Hedman got it back in.
Great shot from Victor Hedman, and that was the great Dave Mishkin and Bobby the Chief Taylor on the call last night on the Lightning Radio Network. So Hedman with a couple of goals last night. Vasi was strong in net, and they get the 4-1 win in Seattle. Coach Coop, after the game, heard him on with the TNT crew last night. It was kind of fun when they had him on mid-game. But here's Coop afterwards and his assessment of last night's festivities.
Look at it, the longest trip of the year, a lot of time zone. Just overall, when you look back on it, like, how do you feel you guys played and finished the plot?
It's hard to comment because it's only half over. It's we're flying back to Tampa. We're just going there for cross country, play one game, and we're going to 4 other cities. So this is 6 of the 11. We're 3-3. This happens to all teams, so I can't just sit here and say poor us. But I like the way these games have played out. Giving up one in each, and in both games we had the lead going into the third and just shut the team down. And that's back to the way we need to play. So I'm really happy with that. And I'm glad excited to get back for a couple of days anyway. And
let's cut that, bro. And I don't know if that audio is as bad on your end as it is on at my end, partner, but it's awful. They had some issues on this road trip as far as their press conference audio.
I was just letting you know. I was like, it sounds like it's a tad better today than it was yesterday, but they do not have a great system on the road.
Not workable.
Yeah,
especially not workable.
Especially when I can't get the Bally feed because they were on TNT last night. It's not ideal.
What do you think of the TNT coverage? I mean, they had Anson Carter, our old friend Rick Tocchet was there, which I didn't know Tocchet had that big a personality. He was really good. I enjoyed the whole group there. Very, very fun watch last night, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were struggling to find chemistry early on, but that Bissonnette, I think he's obviously I think he did a lot of stuff with Barstool, if I'm not mistaken. So he has a really good personality. Anson Carter is very experienced, Tocchet, and sometimes when they have Wayne Gretzky on there, it's pretty good. So I enjoyed the announcing crew last night. I think it's a bit of a refresher from the NBC days. So if you give me that once a month, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm good. And obviously the Lightning are a huge draw, and they'll be doing a lot of national games, and looking forward to the playoffs to see how that all sets up. Although I do get a little disappointed, in the playoffs when we can't watch our guys, our team. And after the first or second rounds, usually the national people take over. So I wish we could choose.
I'd like to see ESPN get some more games. I don't know where this TV deal.
What's going on with that
deal? I mean, they've been doing the ABC on Saturdays. I saw that where they put a game on ABC. It's usually the big markets, though, like Philly, Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter how good the teams are. They're going to put the big markets there. I don't see any games during the week on ESPN. Do you? I don't.
I really don't. I thought they were going to be putting games on, but I guess, I can't remember the last time I watched the game on ESPN. And the Point Show is supposed to be on every Thursday. It got preempted this past week because of, I forget, there was a big signing or something. Maybe it might have been Brady. I forget, but it's just, I thought there would be a huge presence of hockey on ESPN. I really haven't seen it. Have you?
No. I don't know how the NHL feels about it, but I wouldn't be so excited about it. TNT's done a far better job. in my opinion, of getting involved than the ESPN does. I mean, I always do it by go look at ESPN's social media page because that's where you're going to get more of your audience. There's no NHL post. There's none. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we probably had, I haven't looked this morning, but I'm sure we have about 4 or 5 Lakers ones coming in from last night. Maybe.
Oh, I'm sure there are, no doubt. All right, some other stuff. The Buccaneers obviously signed Chris Godwin. We had a good chance to talk about that a lot in our first segment. So this is obviously a huge signing for the Buccaneers. A lot of people were saying maybe there's going to be a sign and trade. They don't have the money. And I think we were spot on yesterday in talking about his representation. I think CAA, who represents him and did the Matt Ryan deals and the Julio Jones deal, which crippled that franchise and still cripples that franchise. I think they were trying to do the same thing here with Godwin. They had some leverage, obviously, but I think in the end, I think Godwin probably took control of this situation and took a deal that I think is very fair, but it's almost exactly what Mike Williams signed for. Is that correct?
It's exactly the exact terms. 3 years, $60 million, $40 million guaranteed. And as we pointed out yesterday, they do have the same agent. So.
Right. And Godwin's numbers were, I think, better, and he's considered a much better receiver than Williams. Would you agree?
Who, Godwin?
Yeah.
Oh, not even. I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
I don't think it's close. I mean, both have had injury issues, but Chris Godwin, even with his injury issues, way more productive than Mike Williams and can do way more than him.
So, and that tells me that Godwin probably signed a deal that was a lot less than what CAA was looking for. And again, I said this yesterday, a lot of times your agents are your best friends and they can be your worst enemy as well, because they're more interested in getting the biggest number they possibly can, because that's how they get clients. That's how they make money. And they really, I think a lot of times don't consider, what the team is doing. You can cut it any way you want. And people argue this all the time. Players and player representatives like Dominique Foxworth is like, you get your bag. Don't worry about money left over for other players. That's not your interest. That's the team's job to figure that out. And I kind of understand that. But to me, that's a real numbers oriented approach and a real player rep type of approach. And I just, it's a team game and there is a salary cap. That's just the reality of it. And if you choose like an Aaron Rodgers to take up an enormous amount of your salary cap, no matter how way you want to play this cap, and it's, it is very malleable. You can move it around. You can do a lot of things, but in the end, you're going to have to pay the piper down the road. There's always a negative side to restructuring these contracts. So I still think if you're the smart guy and you value winning and you value being, quote, a good teammate, I think it's the way to go. And I think, for Chris Godwin, you come into this league as a 3rd-round pick. You get a chance to play with Tom Brady. You win a Super Bowl. Now you've got a chance to play with him again for at least another year, maybe 2, who knows? Sure, he could have forced probably a sign and trade and gone somewhere else, but does he really want to catch passes from Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts as opposed to Tom Brady? Does he really want to uproot his family, what he's established here? I mean, there's a lot of quality of life issues here that the players are way more important than the agents. And sometimes players have to step up and say, you know what, that extra $10, $15 million over the next 4 to 5 years, it's not as important to me as what's going on right now in my life. And I think, at least from my perspective, that's a way smarter choice than just chasing money and going off to places like, just pick your wayward spot. I mean, everybody has good years, but whether it's Cleveland or it's Cincinnati or it's Indianapolis or teams that have had times where they've struggled, I just don't see the value in that. I just don't, and I think Chris made the right decision.
And the other thing to think about, he's 26 years old. He signs a 3-year contract. If he signed a 6-year, 7-year deal, he's going to be 32, 33. Guess what? This is your last big deal you're getting. End of story. Now, if he goes 3 years here, assume he stays healthy, assuming he's the same Chris Godwin on the other side of this ACL, he's in a big opportunity to cash out again when he's 29. So I still think that was the right move to go, a sort of a bridge deal, 3 years while you're entering your prime, so to say. And then while you're still in it, you get another 3 or 4 year deal and you've maxed out your full potential with money. So I still think it was a team-friendly deal. And for him, I think it's great for the player.
Yeah, and it's great for the Bucs. I mean, they are sitting in a great situation right now. As you look They restructured some more deals today. Gronk, I think, without question, is coming back. So you've got Gronk, Russell Gage, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Okay, you solidified your offensive line with Ryan Jensen. You've got probably the best tandem of tackles in the game, I would argue, with Wirfs and Donovan Smith when Donovan's playing up to the level he played in the Super Bowl season, certainly. You've got, you replace Ali Marpet with a guy that's statistically PFF-wise better. No disrespect to Ali at all, but Shaq Mason is a freaking animal. He is so good in the run game and really good in the pass game. He's one of the top 4 guards in the game, according to PFF. You put Aaron Stinney in there, who filled in for Kappa tremendously well in the 4 playoff games in the Super Bowl season. Right now, certainly from an offensive standpoint, this roster is as good as it was last year. And I know people say, well, listen, Russell Gage is not AB. Well, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. He's not AB, so you don't have to worry about all the bullshit. You have to worry the guy's going to be there. He's going to be productive. He's super talented. Really hasn't, had an opportunity until last year to be a primary guy. And when he got that opportunity, what do you have, 600 and some yards in the last 6 games or something?
Last 8 games, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this kid can play, and he's only 26 years old. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great situation when you look at where we were last Thursday or Friday, thinking about the Bucs, and they still got plenty of cap space that they've created that they can bring back Lenny. They can bring back. They can go out and get a honey badger, and why wouldn't he want to come play here?
Yeah.
So I don't think they're done.
No, I don't think they're done one bit. And by the way, I wanted to shift to this real quick because I know we don't have much time left here, but this just came in. The reported terms that the Rays, their final offer to Freddie Freeman has been revealed here. And it was 6 years, $150 million. And he ended up signing 6 years, $162. And the Braves offer was 5 years, $140. So this is from John Heyman, by the way. So I'm thinking, is $25 million, is that like the Rays max, they're willing to spend on one player? Because it feels like I feel like that's the same thing they did with Wander, right? Like the max they spend on him, assuming he's still here in 8-9 years, is $25 million, correct?
Yeah, I think it is in his contract. I have to look at the end of it, but it's really backloaded. It's super backloaded. It may get a little bit richer than that, but yeah, I don't think they're willing to go. And frankly, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I know we're disappointed that Freddie Freeman is not going to be here, but the Dodgers can handle paying a Freddie Freeman, or we look at some of these longer term contracts at the end. I mean, Alex Rodriguez was I think the Yankees may have paid him $50 to $70 million for nothing at the end of that contract. It may have been more than that. In these long contracts, it's hard to predict. And how old is Freddie now? He's like what, 32?
He's 32. So he's 38 at the end.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's the Dodgers can see him decline and just go get other players and eat that. The Rays cannot. I mean, that's always going to be a huge. I mean, right now it'd be a third of their payroll. Who knows what it would be in 8 years? I mean, it's hard to sustain that. So he's got to play extremely well for you for a long period of time. And there's just not a lot of precedent for that in baseball as guys get into 37, 38 years old without doing steroids, where they're as productive as they are in their early 30s. It just doesn't happen. So I think in the long run, I think the Rays could be better off here without signing Freddie Freeman. I know it hurts now, but, that's a contract that I would have worried about. So, and, again, was that really their offer? Where's that information coming from? Where's Heyman getting it? Is it from Eric Neander? Is it from the Rays? Sorry, I'm just a little skeptical. But let's just for the sake of argument, it doesn't really matter. You finish second again, and they're just not getting the guys. And as I said with Todd Kalas, I'm more upset they didn't get Chapman or Olsen because that was a price of prospects, right?
Yeah.
And the reason they hold on to their prospects is why? So they can win cheap. And why do they do that? So that Stu can pocket the money. And I know it sounds like a dead horse, but so many people don't understand this. And that you have to understand if they're not willing to part with prospects, that's because that's the way Stu got rich. And he doesn't want to screw with that. They'll always have good young players, but they'll never be able to go out, or never will go out and add the pitcher. See, the big time pitchers are what wins this deal. I mean, look at the Dodgers. Look at the teams that win World Series. More often than not, they've got dominant pitching, starting pitching, which is what wins in the playoffs. So last year may have been a little bit of an aberration, but Charlie Morton certainly helped the Braves win it.
Yeah, and I took a quick glance here at the rest of the free agent market. You probably could kiss goodbye and you hope the Rays are starting a first baseman. There's nothing out there now. There is nothing out there. I don't know. I'm looking at the starting pitching right now, too. Again, nothing of a difference maker. Zach Greinke, who I mentioned, just went back to Kansas City yesterday on a 1-year, $13 million deal. I don't think the Rays probably ever in on him. So unless they're doing something with the trade market, which could happen, I don't see them adding much here in free agency. Not a lot of guys I think the Rays would want here.
Well, I mean, certainly they won 100 games last year with most of this group. So, and they've added Corey Kluber. They haven't had a bunch of huge subtractions, right, as far as key players from the roster.
No, Colin McHugh, I think, is the only one.
Yeah,
that I can mention.
But plenty of arms, in the stable. A lot of guys getting healthy that we didn't have last year. So, I'm still very bullish on his team. I think he can be a very good baseball team. But we whiffed. We whiffed on Olsen. We whiffed on Chapman. We whiffed on Suzuki. And we whiffed on Freddie Freeman. Not a good offseason for Eric Neander. He didn't get any of this done. Maybe there's a deal to be made later on. But at this point, not good. Not a good offseason. Jason Light, A+. Eric Neander at this point, F. I don't see how you can see it any other way. All right, our thanks to our great guests today, Todd Kalas, David Zimroth, Tracy West, Bob Passwaters, who all stopped by. Really appreciate it. Plenty of time to come out here to the Valspar Championship. Some big names coming up. And Jackson Suber, the local kid, will tee off at 2:30. We'll be out there for that. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great St. Patty's Day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.